What's going on, everyone? So Trevor Lane shared these stats, and I thought that they were very interesting, and I kind of wanted to dive into it a little bit and have a little bit of a discussion. So make sure you join the discussion down in the comments below. But Trevor Lane said, through 3 games, LeBron James currently has the lowest usage percentage of his career. Anthony Davis currently has the highest usage percentage since he's became a Laker. Also worth noting, D'Angelo Russell currently has the lowest usage percentage of his career, and Austin Reaves has the highest of his career, though just barely. So, a couple things that I find very interesting, and I really want to talk about and highlight, because I do find these very interesting stats. So, based on these stats, first off, I don't see these changing at all, right? This is clearly AD's team. Redick, LeBron, Anthony Davis, like everybody basically said Anthony Davis is getting the rings. LeBron has said this is his team. LeBron has said that for years, and it's kind of been one of those things where it's like, okay, when is Anthony Davis really going to take the reins? Now, a lot of people like to point at LeBron and go, oh, well, LeBron has never really relinquished those reins. One thing to say it, it's another thing to actually do it. To an extent, that's correct. But let's not pretend like Anthony Davis, like after the 2020 season when they won the championship, the idea was like, okay, Anthony Davis is going to be the guy, and then it'll be LeBron. And Anthony Davis regressed and had his struggles and was a real question mark and couldn't stay healthy and all these things. So it's kind of like, what are you supposed to do if you're LeBron, right? And then through Darvin Ham, it's like Darvin Ham, how many times do we see Anthony Davis have 30 through 3 quarters and then just not touch the basketball or be part of the offense the entire 4th quarter, right? Where you're seeing everything is running through Anthony Davis. Anthony Davis in the 4th quarter is the guy. There's no questions, no ands, no ifs about it. Now, LeBron James had an incredible scoring outing in that Kings game, but Anthony Davis still was a huge boost in that 4th quarter. This is his team. And LeBron James has clearly bought in. And it's something that I talked about very heavily going into the season, that I believe JJ Redick was the guy for the job. I was talking about, between this channel and As It Stands Lakers, about LeBron James, or about JJ Redick being the right head coach, and then I thought he was the guy we needed to hire. I talked about JJ Redick before we even knew he was even on the Lakers' radar, after we got news that he interviewed with the Charlotte Hornets. And I was like, why don't we hit up JJ Redick, right? Like, he's a basketball mind. We have seen him be able to break down the game of basketball to a finite point to where we can understand the game for even a simpleton. So why aren't we reaching out to him? I was incredibly high on JJ Redick, and I still am incredibly high on JJ Redick. And it's not just because of the 3-0 start. Because of the way that this team is bought in, it's the organization of this team, it's the play style, it's the scheming, it's all the things that you wanted to see. JJ Redick has already shown through 3 games that he is a competent head coach, that he is a good head coach. Will he be great? Will he be elite? We're going to find out. But he's doing a hell of a job thus far with a team that many people thought, the consensus was that this team was going to be terrible and a play-in team and bad and blah, blah, blah. Now, it is 3 games, so I don't want to overreact, but it's a great sign if you're the Lakers. Great sign if you're the Lakers. But I like that LeBron James is buying in, because one of the biggest things that I talked about was if LeBron doesn't buy in, none of it matters, right? Like, LeBron, we saw constantly undermine Darvin Ham. And when that happens, the rest of the team, you lose as well. LeBron is the guy. He is the leader. He is the gravitational pull in which everything else orbits around. And when he's bought in, everybody's bought in. So the fact that LeBron has the lowest usage rate of his career is impressive feat in and of itself. But it also shows LeBron's willingness to take that step back and say, you know what, here you go. And I talked about it even through the first 2 games, where I said, one of the things that I like the most that we're seeing is LeBron's willingness to play within the offense. LeBron's going to get his 20 just being on the basketball court. Right? He's that good. He's going to get 20 games. The last thing we're worried about is him scoring 20 points. And, there will be nights and occasions and games. I mean, Sacramento game, for example, where he's just hot and you feed the hot hand, or he just, we need him to take over. Sometimes the offense isn't working and your best play is to just give LeBron the ball and get out the way. That's how it is, right? Like that's why he's so great. But him buying into the system and buying into the offense and playing within the schemes and styles is very important going forward. And it instills the confidence in Anthony Davis. It instills the confidence into the rest of the team. You're seeing when LeBron goes to the bench, this team doesn't just completely fall apart, right? Like, you're seeing all the things that you want to see. LeBron James and Anthony Davis are going to carry you. They're going to do their things. But it's what does everyone else do, right? And is there a clear pecking order? Is there buy-in? Are we actually doing and playing the right way? And so far, the answer has been yes. And then from a D'Angelo Russell and Rui Hachimura, or D'Angelo Russell and Austin Reaves standpoint, which I'd like to know. I should look up the stat for Rui Hachimura since I clearly have Rui on my mind. But Austin Reaves has the highest usage rate, which not by a large margin, because when LeBron went down and Austin Reaves had his emergence, Austin Reaves was basically on ball the entire time. It's part of the reason why he had his emergence. But Austin Reaves is clearly the guy for the Lakers, and JJ Redick in particular, not over like Anthony Davis and LeBron, but I'm talking about like the third guy, and particularly over D'Angelo Russell, which, again, my biggest gripe with Austin Reaves has just been his lack of shooting. Last 2 games, he shot the ball well, and look at what's happened. Good things have happened. Good results have happened. Right? You're seeing Austin Reaves be able to make plays. I still don't like him as like a primary playmaker, but through this offense, it works. Why? Because the style of offense, you don't need that Chris Paul level point guard. You just need somebody that can make plays, run the basics, and be that swing man extender, right? And Austin Reaves is really good at that. He's not a guy that I would like kind of wheeling and dealing and, being the primary driving force of your offense. But with what the offense is that we're running, it does make a lot of sense for Austin Reaves to kind of play in that role. And if he can knock down shots and hit threes with consistency, I'm not saying he has to be 50% from 3. But I'm saying, like, he needs to be consistent enough to where teams really have to worry about it, because it opens everything up for Austin Reaves as well as the rest of the team, right? It really allows him to do what he likes to do best in the best way that he's plays, which is through aggression, right? Attacking closeouts, getting to that mid-range, and free throw line extended, right? Like, getting into that area to where he can make the dump pass, or he can make the little roll man, hit the roll man, or throw the lob, or find the occasional cutter, but also be able to operate, shoot over the top, knock down in the mid-range, right? Like, just, it expands and opens so much for him when he's able to do that. And D'Angelo Russell, we just saw him and Reeves and Rui and LeBron and AD all give you good contributions on the offensive side. Right? D'Lo and Reeves both gave you 16 on efficiency. But I think at some point you still see the redundancies with these two. And D'Lo's kind of the guy that's becoming... What's happening is Reeves is essentially becoming the 2 guard, or the point guard, and D'Lo's becoming the 2 guard. Right? Because D'Lo is the better playmaker, but because of the style of offense you're running, you don't need D'Lo to go out there and play make a ton. Right? When Darvin Ham, and the way that Darvin Ham was running the offense, you needed that. But Darvin Ham just never really let D'Lo do that. When he was your best guy to do it, he tried to have Austin Reaves do that. Austin Reaves wasn't good at that. And it's like, why are you having Reaves do it when you have D'Lo that can do it? And we've seen him do it, and it leads to success, right? But with the current offense and under JJ Redick and the way that we're moving, you got all the ball movement and player movement, it's the idea isn't to have one guy wheel and deal. So what's happening is Reeves is just kind of better in that attack mode, move the ball type of offense, as opposed to D'Lo. And so D'Lo's kind of getting phased out in a lot of ways. And I mean, D'Lo's likely getting traded regardless this season, If at any point there's a reasonable trade in which you can turn D'Lo into something, he's probably on his way out regardless. But it's kind of becoming a little more and more apparent as we're continuing to move through this season. Granted, it's only been 3 games. You never know. Things could shift. Things could change. And you also saw D'Lo have a slow start last year and then really just pick it up and ended up finishing with like a historically great season. If I'm being honest, I think D'Lo could average 25, 8, and 8 the rest of the way. And I don't know if they would still keep him. Just because there's the looming concerns about the playoffs, as well as him being an expiring contract, and do you run the risk of losing him for nothing? Plus, the Lakers have some clear needs that I think that they're going to need to address at some point, and D'Lo is more likely than not your best way of addressing those needs. So, to me, he already was the odd man out, but it's becoming more and more apparent that he's the odd man out. And I just think that as we continue to progress throughout this season, you're going to reach a point where D'Lo is either just completely phased out and it's like it's time to let him go, or he even if he does play great, it's just like you can justify moving off of him and him being an expiring contract. Now, obviously, something has to present itself. You can't just get rid of D'Lo just to get rid of D'Lo. I'm not saying you trade him just for fun, especially if he can continue to shoot efficiency, because you need the offense. You need the continued playmaking. There are going to be spots where D'Lo is going to shine. There's going to be those games where D'Lo just takes over and is great. And, and you need, for the moment, the best version of D'Lo you can possibly have and possibly get. But I just think it's inevitable that he's kind of the one that ends up getting phased out. I think that those stats about usage is very interesting. That D'Lo isn't just having his lowest stats based on being a Laker, but period. And he was the guy that JJ Redick said wanted him to have a career year. So I find that very interesting. But we'll see how it all plays out. But as always, this is a discussion, and I pass a question on you. Let me know your thoughts and opinions down in the comments below. What do you think? How do you feel? What are your thoughts? What do you make of this information on the usage rates? Like I said, I really like that it's showing LeBron's willingness to buy in and play with amongst the team rather than his whole career. And it's hard. I mean, he's arguably, if not the greatest player ever, who has always been the system, who's now trying to play and operate within the system. That's a very impressive thing, in my opinion. And then Anthony Davis is clearly emerging into his team. This is his team. And then Austin Reaves, as well as D'Lo kind of being the odd man out. But however you feel, whatever your thoughts are, I love to hear it. So let me know down in the comments below. That being said, if you haven't liked this video, hit that like button. Helps me a lot. Helps me enjoy these types of videos, and I truly appreciate it. Not subscribe channel, hit that subscribe button. Turn on the bell notifications. Appreciate y'all. See you in the next one. Thank you.